Salut pour tous et soyez les bienvenus dans le programme Planète Équitable avec Ed Zanetti. We are talking about corporate ESG and the role of the CSO, the environmental and social governance programs, and the role of the corporate sustainability officer. We talked about public and private policies, the investors, the aversion to risks. We talked about the risks. And then we've been talking about double materiality as a way to avoid greenwashing. And I mentioned 4 types of greenwashing. We talked about the first one, the false statement, the false stamp, and I talked about the Verra case, the VCS fraud on the carbon credits. Then we talked about the vague messages like I'm saving the rainforest, I'm protecting biodiversity, I'm saving the Amazon, I'm saving the Congo Basin, whatever it is, that doesn't mean a lot, it is too broad. And today we'll be talking about the lack of scientific proof of your statement. So it is also the case that companies would, for example, if we are talking about the carbon neutrality or compensation for the carbon or the carbon footprint of the business, we can have, for example, an underestimation of the emissions, so the inventory is not done regularly following the procedures prescribed by the United Nations or the ISO system, or the compensation projects, they do not deliver any results on the field. And then we come again to the case of the Verra VCS carbon certification, which proved not to be realizing any climate benefit on the field. So companies that were using a stamp of carbon neutrality based on that didn't have the scientific proof that their investment were resulting on reducing emissions or removing CO2 from the atmosphere. So this lack of scientific proof puts these companies into this false communication, the fraud communication, and the case for greenwashing. So the lack of a scientific base for the claim on the corporate and environmental and social governance programs is a form of greenwashing. The third form of greenwashing we are talking about here. Let God's peace and the love that builds be our weapons on the daily struggle for justice. Ed Zanetti for tous les amis africains.